back to another episode of Sit and Spin with me, your host Joe Royal, and today on the show we're going to be talking about the latest album from the band Muse and their album Drones. It is the 7th studio album overall from the English progressive rock band, comprised of Matthew Bellamy on lead vocals, guitar, and keyboards, Christopher Wolstenholme on bass and backing vocals, and Dominic Howard on drums, percussion, and synths. The group, of course, formed in 1994, but made their debut on the scene in 1999 with their album Showbiz. The album was co-produced by the group with the legendary Robert John Mutt Lange, who's known for his work with groups like Def Leppard, AC/DC, Foreigner, and a host of too many others to list. And it features, for the most part, a return to the simpler guitar, drums, bass, and occasional keyboard sound of the group's earlier albums, unlike the more electronic orchestral sound the group explored on their last couple of records. No strangers to the concept album, Muse. They are back with this album, Drones, which is all about the dehumanization of modern warfare, kind of exploring how the loss of empathy and brainwashing of soldiers is kind of a metaphor for modern mechanical warfare and using automated drones. You know, those two things are kind of similar, even though different. It follows the story of our protagonist from a journey from abandonment to indoctrination as a human drone to his eventual defection from the situation. The album opens with the track Dead Inside, which was also the first single off the record, where we find our protagonist has kind of been left and spurned by her former lover, leaving him like empty and lonely and ripe for the picking for the following track, which is a little spoken word piece called Drill Sergeant Thinks Shades of Full Metal Jacket, if you've ever seen that movie, and how he gets indoctrinated and turned into the next track, Psycho, which is kind of a foot stomp and Marilyn Manson style number, and explores the differences between how what you become when you're trained to be a soldier and how if you were that same sort of thing in real life, you'd probably be considered a psychopath, even though they're very, one thing is okay, the other thing is not really viewed as okay. The track that follows that is the one you're hearing right now, which is the song Mercy, where our protagonist kind of realizes what he's gotten himself into and is trying to figure out, oh man, what have I done? How do I get myself out of this? The track following that is a song called Reapers, which opens with a flurry of Edward Van Halen style guitar tapping and just goes on and gives kind of like a feeling of what it's like to be caught in the crossfire of modern war. And then the track following that is a song called Handlers, which is another rocking guitar groove song where our protagonist has realized what he's become, now a human drone, and definitely wants to not be that anymore and kind of get out of it. That is followed by another little spoken word piece called JFK, which is a little fictional speech, not fictional speech, a little speech from John F. Kennedy on the changing nature of warfare and how it went from being something that was very overt and present to something that was being much more covert and hidden away a little bit, and how that kind of changed things. The next track, two tracks that follow, are kind of almost like a two-part thing, even though they're separate songs, and they're very Queen-like in their pomp and circumstance, especially in some of the vocals and the guitar work stuff. Defector was the first track, which you would find our hero kind of breaking free of a situation, and then Revolt, which is, even though it's a separate song, it's kind of like the second part of those two songs, and features a style-shifting kind of song, and shows our guy like getting out of the situation he's in. The last three tracks on the album kind of close out, which are Aftermath, which is a very sweeping ballad dealing with the fallout of warfare. And then The Globalist, which is this 10-minute epic number, which starts off with a very Enrico Morricone spaghetti western-style instrumental intro before shifting gears into this kind of full-on rock guitar thing, and then switching back to this grand ballad. And the closing out the album, we have the title track, Drones, which is an almost Gregorian chant a cappella-styled song. But overall, nice little album from Muse, Drones. As with any concept album, though, how much you're really going to like it is going to depend on how much you like the concept of what the subject matter is. And war is a tricky one. You know, not a lot of people are all about war. Some people are very much into war. As for myself, as much as I love how well this record was put together, and the songwriting and performances are all really good, I don't know if myself personally I'm going to listen to it a lot, not say as much as I might listen to some of the band's other records or just other records in general, because it's kind of something I got to be in the mood to want to hear. True, I could just kind of throw it on and just enjoy it for the music and kind of like ignore the lyrics and still like the record a lot, but you might find yourself in a situation similar yourself if you pick up the album. But overall, still a great record from Muse and another winner from them. But out now, Drones. the new album from Muse. That is all I got for you this week. Hopefully you are catching my good friend Scott over at Righteous Fun, as well as Rick and Dave, guys, as always. And tune in next week to see what we're going to have then. I'm pretty sure I already know what it's going to be, but something else can come up between now and then. But thanks for tuning in. We will catch you next time on Sit and Spin. See you then.